Hey everyone, welcome to week number 11 of ATTR 856, clinical class for the fourth last semester in the program. I hope you all had a fantastic spring break. We are getting ready for the last 5 weeks of the program. And this week, for your clinical portion of the class, you're going to need to start working on your clinical framework. That's coming up very quickly. That's a large portion of your final grade in the class. You've also got some stuff with You're a Badass. You've got a fear assignment this week with the You're a Badass readings, and of course, you've got the mastermind. I wanted to do a little video, kind of about the whole class, the class as a whole, and kind of some of your progress and where you're at right now as a class. So I've done some grading and some feedback on your last several weeks, and a couple weeks ago, or I guess more than a couple weeks ago, but 3 weeks ago, I did another chunk of feedback, and you guys were doing really well. And I looked at the last couple weeks before spring break, and your work started to slide a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Your work started to slide. I don't know if that was because you had your legal aspects paper due, as well as your final manuscript for your traditional research project. And I think, and if that's the case, that is something that I'd like you all to note, because in a position of leadership, you're going to have multiple things due at the same time, and all of them are going to be important. There's not going to be less priority or higher priority projects as a leader. Everything's important as a leader. And so what I don't know what was happening, but if I had to guess, and if I had to make some inference and hypothesize, I would say that you let your stress or your perceived stress dictate your quality of work. And so you said, I'm stressed right now. I don't have time for prevention, or I don't have time for the mastermind, or I don't have time for clinical. I don't have time for this stuff, right? And so what you did is you let your circumstance drive you. And that's a really important thing to kind of remember as you work towards personal development and growth, is understanding that you're susceptible to your environment. And to overcome that, you need to become aware of your environment and say, okay, I'm feeling stressed right now, and I'm letting the environment control me, as opposed to me controlling the environment, or me interacting with the environment in a positive way. So I want you all to be aware of that, because and you may not see it at a micro level. You all might not see the patterns that I see, because I have the benefit of seeing your work across the period of time, and I have the benefit of seeing the class's work over a period of time. And I would say you started out really strong, you had a little dip, you got stronger, and then I would say the 2 weeks of your work before, 2.5 weeks of your work before spring break, you all just slid. And the quality of your work, not just in the mastermind, not just in clinical class, but also in prevention, I noticed that work slipping and the quality slipping. And so I'm not upset about it. I just want you to know that that's the reality of where you're at. And for you to really reflect on and get serious about why did you slip, or why do you think you're slipping? And if you're saying, no, I didn't slip, I picked up my game, you may have picked up your game overall, but you picked up your game in selective areas. So you may have come through and you crushed the traditional research project writing, or you crushed the legal aspects part for admin class. But did you crush all four things that were due, the 3 classes that you're taking, plus your traditional research project? Were you able to crush and excel at all 4 of those things when the deadlines mattered? That's what you have to ask yourself, and that's what you really have to reflect on. Because if you found yourself slipping, it's okay that you slipped, but you need to reflect on that and understand what triggered you to do that. Was it the stress? Was it the pressure? Was it whatever it was? And then what caused you to prioritize certain things over other things? And finally, what can you do to manage that situation better in the future? Because again, as a leader, you're going to be asked to do multiple things that are all priority 1A. all at once. That's simply the fact of leadership. That's particularly if you're a good leader, is good leaders tend to get more shit. They get more bad, they get harder things to do because you've proven yourself successful in doing the things that you've already been assigned. So you get harder and harder tasks as you continue to lead those individuals. So just some things to reflect about. I hope you enjoyed those last 5 weeks. We are ramping it up, and you may have kind of crossed that next threshold in terms of growing and passing the threshold for the traditional research project. Those of you who have successfully passed that portion of the program, but we're not done yet. We're not done yet, and you're not done yet. So if you think you're done, you're going to sell yourself short. You're going to sell yourself short in what the total package of the program is. So if you've got questions, let me know. If not, we will talk to you next week.